Your top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. Aubrey Norton lives to fight another day as PNCR leader. 2 new CEC members identified. Government cannot put all its eggs into one basket, says President Ali. Cash grant before Christmas? VP JAGDEO says the president is a man of his word. Court of Appeal dismisses Forward Guyana's movement challenge against GECOM ballot exclusion. And in sport, West Indies stumble on day 1 of first test against India. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Travis Chase with the Thursday, October 2 edition of the HGP Nightly News. Here's what you need to know this evening. Amidst all the ramblings and public criticisms, the Central Executive Committee of the People's National Congress Reform has decided that its leader, Aubrey Norton, will remain at the helm of the party. Marvin Cato reports.
The Central Executive Committee, CEC, for the People's National Congress Reform, PNCR, on Wednesday affirmed its full support for the party's current leader, Aubrey Norton, even though some within the party believes he should have bowed out gracefully from the political stage. The party's disastrous showing that only afforded the coalition 12 seats out of a possible 65 in the National Assembly is the sole responsibility of the leader. Though Norton did not absolve himself for the party receiving a mere 12 seats at the just concluded elections, he was adamant to admit that lack of finance as compared to the We Invest in Nationhood win, an incumbent party, the People's Progressive Party Civic PPPC, played a pivotal role in the party's showing. It was the CEC's first meeting since the elections that relegated the PNCR in its coalition, APNU, to 3rd place in Parliament, behind the PPPC and the newcomer win. Meanwhile, on the heels of several resignations that swept through the PNCR, the party has now confirmed the elevation of 2 new members to its CEC. However, the individuals identified for the positions have not yet been formally informed or indicated whether they would accept the posts. In a press statement late Wednesday, the party did not indicate which CEC members had vacated their posts. It should be noted, however, that CEC members resigned before the election, which was a tumultuous period for the PNCR heading into an election, followed by recent resignations by party stalwart Marvin Williams and the party chair Sherwin Holder. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Marvin. In addressing the Vision 2025-2030 for Guyana, Head of State Irfan Ali, while highlighting the significant opportunities presented by the oil and gas industry, underscored the importance of effective management. Here is more.
President Mohammed Irfan Ali made it clear that the country should not, quote-unquote, put all the eggs in one basket in a speech at the first Energy Insights breakfast brief. He also emphasized the importance of prudent and effective management as a diverse economic transformation, which is essential to building a sustainable economy. The head of state during the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industries hosted event said that his government will not mortgage the nation's future through short-term means because long-term mechanisms are essential to holistic development.
It takes planning, discipline, and vision to translate oil wealth into development. What is referred to the Dutch disease, the curse of corruption, the widening gap between rich and poor, these are the pitfalls we must guard against.
The president stated that his administration is assessing other economic stimulants, including construction, agriculture, and digital technology, while acknowledging the trajectory of the economy due to the booming oil and gas industry.
The government's role is to develop the policy framework that support the expansion of businesses, that support innovation, that support transformation, and that support quality jobs.
The Guyanese head of state referred to the ongoing development of artificial intelligence and emphasized that the government is working with international stakeholders to support this transformative agenda. He emphasized the need for Guyana to be a trendsetter in artificial intelligence.
Guyana cannot chase short-term gains and mortgage its future. Of having AI investment backed by data center that is of a scale that it must be the largest in the region so that we can be a net provider of data centers facility in this region.
Additionally, he admonished all stakeholders, particularly the private sector, not to exclude itself from the transformative agenda, but to contribute to promoting employability in both non-oil and oil sectors. Antonio De reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Cash grant before Christmas? Vice President JAGDEO would only say that the president is a man of his word and that there were no discussions on cash grants per person. Here is more. While on the 2025 elections campaign trail, President Irfan Ali had hinted that a cash grant might be on the cards for Guyanese citizens for Christmas 2025. However, on Thursday, government spokesman JAGDEO was asked about that hint by the president.
Whatever the president said on the campaign trail will be done.
The vice president skirted the question on the possibility of cash grants for Guyanese in time for Christmas 2025.
We are a party. Once we say things, we get it done. We're very tight with making promises, but once we say it, it will be done.
Mr. JAGDEO would only say that the People's Progressive Party Civic will not be in government for only 30 days, hinting that the cash grant can come at any time.
He said he was mulling it. I'm glad you said he was mulling it. He didn't say, like on the other things, there shall be, but he said, I'm mulling it. But there will be, and this is a 5-year term we have. There'll be several cash grants in the 5 years. So don't worry about it. There are 5 years term. This is not a 3 months term that we have now.
Asked whether the cash grant will be per person as against per household, Mr. JAGDEO responded.
There'll be no such discussion at any level in the government. So it's a blatant lie, but this is what happens all the time is disinformation.
In 2024, Guyanese citizens aged 18 and older benefited from a one-off $100,000 cash grant. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. You're watching the HGP Nightly News. Stay with us. There is more news ahead.
Do not look the other way. Be fearless in confronting it, she charged. Turning to discipline, Walron emphasized that effective leadership must come from the top. She warned that weak discipline among senior officers would ultimately collapse the chain of command and erode the force's credibility. Quote unquote, leadership must be by example. If discipline is weak at the top, it will collapse below. Tighten discipline, strengthen performance, and rebuild trust, she added. The minister also highlighted emerging security challenges, including border protection, cybercrime, and the demands of a rapid growing economy. She called on commanders to ensure that the significant resources invested in the Ghana Police Force translate into safer communities, stronger enforcement against criminals, and renewed respect for the police uniform. Affirming the public trust depends on strong leadership, Walron declared, quote unquote, this is the moment for decisive leadership. The people will not wait, and neither will I. She pledged her ministry's full support to the force as it works to transform into a professional, disciplined, and respected service, rooted in integrity and accountability. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
The Court of Appeal on Thursday dismissed a case filed by the Forward Guyana movement, challenging the Guyana Elections Commission over its decision to exclude the party from the national ballot in 3 administrative regions during the September 1 general and regional elections. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
The Court of Appeal on Thursday threw out the Forward Guyana movement challenge against the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, over its decision to exclude the party from the national ballot in 3 administrative regions during the just concluded general and regional elections. The appeal was brought by Crystal Fisher of Region 9, who represented Forward Guyana movement, against GCOM and the Attorney General. Delivering the ruling, Chancellor of the Judiciary, Acting Roxanne Jert, said The application was filed less than 2 days before the disciplined services were scheduled to vote. She noted that the nature of the challenge amounted to questioning the validity of the elections, which the law must be pursued through an election petition under Article 163 of the Constitution. Since this was not an election petition, the court had no jurisdiction to entertain it. Chancellor George stressed that the High Court also lacked jurisdiction to hear the matter. She pointed out that while the case had proceeded on the assumption that the court could rule on GECOM's action, the constitutional and statutory framework clearly outlined the correct procedures for such challenges. As a result, she said the appeal had effectively reached its end, and any further debate on its merits would be purely academic. The court also agreed with the earlier decision of the Chief Justice, finding that the application had no merit. It was held that ballot access and voting rights are constitutionally limited to parties contesting geographical constituencies. GECOM's actions, the ruling emphasized, did not violate Articles 59 or 159 of the Constitution, which set out the right to vote based on registration. According to the court, Forward Ghana movement was not denied ballot access as an elector or as a political party, since the party chose not to contest in all 10 constituencies despite having the opportunity to do so. This, the judge said, could not be blamed on GECOM. On the contrary, the ruling stated that Forward Ghana movement's decision disadvantaged its own political supporters by failing to field the candidates in the excluded regions. Chancellor George also confirmed that GECOM correctly applied the Constitution and the Representation of the People's Act, ROPA, in preparing the ballots. She criticized the applicant for relying on fragments of constitutional provisions to support misguided views instead of considering the law in its entirety. The court dismissed the appeal as unmeritorious, ordering the appellant to pay $1 million in costs each to GECOM and the Attorney General by November 14, 2025. The appeal was heard by Chancellor George and Justices of the Appeal, Narishwar Harnanan and Richie Prasad. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP 93 News.
On the police blotter, there is still no sign of a man who was kidnapped in plain sight just over a year ago. His family and friends have renewed their calls for justice. Here is more. It has been 1 year since 24-year-old Joshua David, called Bricks, was kidnapped in plain sight just outside a restaurant on Main Street, Georgetown, where he had gone to buy food. Recently, family and friends gathered at the spot where David was kidnapped. It was there that David's mother, Pierre David, renewed her call for justice.
I feel I'm messed up. You understand? Only who feels it knows it. Still feel I'm messed up. I like today, yesterday, whole day, sit down. Sometimes I watch the picture on the wall, I start crying. I'm trying to get come and say, Mommy, I hold it up, you know, and things. I just can't help it. And then I do like, I don't need anybody to come out and talk, you know.
7 men who were caught on camera as they kidnapped the 24-year-old man have been charged and released on bail. They are Aaron Allen, known as Katz, Wayne Barker, Damian Barlow, Dwayne Griffith, known as Sheep, Devinti Mars, Alpha Poole, and Osafo Peters. The woman says the judicial system is frustrating the case.
When else have you spoken with the police?
You know what, last? Just the story heading to court. Case putting off till next month, 18th again, it's court.
But the police don't tell you nothing?
No.
1 year later, David's mother still has confidence in the police investigation.
Do you believe the police has done enough or is doing enough?
Yeah, man, the police are doing the job.
Why do you think so?
Huh?
Why do you think the police is doing it?
So far, to me, they're doing the job. You know, last I speak to them or go into them or so, you know. So when it's cold day or so, they hear from them.
The video evidence of David's abduction should have served as evidence to solve the crime, according to the man's mother.
Yeah, man, they got footage. You see, they carry my child. You understand? Footage showing the guy out there, the kidnapping, the guy with the end. But I feel I get justice. God in charge.
Crime Chief Wendell Blanham is already on record as saying that the Guyana Police Force was transforming intelligence information into evidence in order to locate Joshua David. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. Stay with us. There is more news ahead. Thanks for staying with us here in the HGP Nightly News. Works on the controversial and much talked about $865 million Bellevue Pump Station is moving apace and should be completed now by June 2026.
Nearly 2 years have passed since the contentious awarding of the $865 million Bellevue Pump Station contracted to Puyi Group Inc., owned by Michael Rodriguez, also known as the Guyanese Critic. An agreement was recently established and local engineering firm GECOM Engineering assumed responsibility for completing the project as a subcontractor, while adhering to all stipulations of the original contract, according to sources revealed yesterday. Puyi Group Inc. had received an advance payment of $182 million and managed to complete on 10% of the project. Under the new arrangement, GECOM Engineering took over the execution of the project and will receive direct payments from the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, NDIA, in accordance with the terms of the agreement as detailed by a source. The company's chief executive officer, Kishon Singh, told Nightly News that the project is expected to be completed by June 2026. Many critics of this project have contended that from the outset, the contract should not have been awarded to Michael Rodriguez's company, commonly known as the Guyanese Critic, since he had no contracting experience. In the 2023 report, which was presented to Parliament, the Auditor General stated that the contract was signed on September 22, 2023, with a completion timeline of 18 months set out. Documents viewed indicate that on September 21, 2023, 1 day prior to the contract's agreement signature, Addendum Number 1 was made to raise the advance payment percentage from 15% to 30%. Efforts to contact Chairman of the Board of Directors for the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, Lionel Wordsworth, for a comment proved futile. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Appearing on a radio program at the weekend, Amanza Walton Desire said she's moving boldly forward from her recent public spat with her coalition partner VPAC and has set her sights trained on the Guyana Elections Commission. Marvin Cato reports.
Forward Guyana Movement wrote to the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, on a number of issues emanating from the just concluded general and regional elections. One such issue is the voting of ineligible Commonwealth citizens and how they intend to remedy this illegality in the future.
It is possible for citizens of a foreign state to come in and to completely alter the political course of this country and then fly back home.
Walton Desire, visibly disappointed, highlighted the fact that only one commissioner acknowledged receipt of their concerns.
The Honorable Justice Claudette Singh, Madam Chair, did not even formally acknowledge receipt of the correspondence. The only person that we received a response of acknowledgement from was Commissioner Vincent Alexander.
GECOM's chair and other commissioners appears to be mum on the issue, according to the FGM leader.
So you would think that if a political entity asks, or even if a Guyanese citizen were to ask for information of this importance, that there should be some answer or acknowledgement.
Walton Desire said, for good measure, she has yet again written GECOM with the hope that this time the commission would be more forthcoming.
Can you imagine what we're opening the door to? That every 5 years, right, a group of people can come in, determine the direction of our elections, and then go back.
She has had a difficult past 2 weeks with her coalition partner VPAC, accusing her of being untruthful and manipulative, and the appeals court dismissing her case and ordering damages of $2 million in addition to that which was ordered in the High Court. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Priya Manikchand, has joined the Ministry of Health in urging women across Guyana to prioritize their health by getting regular mammograms. She says early detection can save lives, and with free screening services available, there's no better time to take action. Jada June reports.
Minister of Local Government and Regional Development Priya Manikchand, in paying tribute to survivors as well as those who lost their battle in this deadly disease, stressed that awareness and screening are critical at this time. She admitted that she herself has never done a mammogram but has now committed to getting one and is encouraging women across Guyana to join her in taking that step. The minister explained that women between the ages of 40 and 74 who are at the average risk should undergo routine mammograms.
Let's commit now with everyone else that given the free services that we're going to go get one done.
Honoring the past, protecting the future, Manikchand also emphasized the importance of using this month to reflect on the struggles of women in early generations, many of whom did not have access to information or medical services for breast cancer detection.
So happy Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and let's make it count, especially for those people who came before us and had no one telling them or no service where they could have gotten this done.
With free mammogram services now available, the minister called on women nationwide to take advantage of the opportunity and prioritize their health, reinforcing that early detection remains the best protection. Jada June reported for HGP Nightly News.
The Guyana Online Academy of Learning has officially opened applications for its 2026 scholarship cycle. Guyanese will have the opportunity to access fully funded programs ranging from skills training to postgraduate studies. Jada June will tell you more.
The Guyana Online Academy of Learning, GOAL, has announced the launch of its 2026 scholarship intake, giving thousands of Guyanese an opportunity to pursue higher education and skills training through fully funded programs. The phased application process began on October 1, 2025, with the first round dedicated to vocational and certificate programs, as well as the Get Ready for Opportunities to Work, GROW initiative. This stage runs until October 31st. According to GOAL, more than 100 short skills-based programs are available through partner institutions with no formal educational requirements for entry. The GROW initiative will also provide 3 distinct pathways. This includes the Scottish Credit and Qualifications Framework, the Bachelor's Foundation Program, and the U.S. High School Diploma, all aimed at preparing participants for entry into bachelor's degree studies. Applications for bachelor's degree programs will open from November 1st to December 31st, 2025, while postgraduate applications will be accepted between December 1st, 2025 and January 31st, 2026. GOAL officials explained that the phased rollout will make the application process more manageable and accessible, ensuring all eligible Guyanese have a fair opportunity to apply. Since its inception in 2021, GOAL said it has awarded more than 39,000 scholarships across Guyana, ranging from certificate courses to PhDs. The program, funded by the government of Guyana, continues to be a key driver in expanding access to education and strengthening national human capacity. Jada June reported for HGP Nightly News.
Royal International Hotel and Eden by Best Western has heeded the call to offer Guyanese at home and in the diaspora better accommodation on rates starting October 1. Marvin Cato will tell you more.
New Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce Susan Rodriguez recently said that in the wake of complaints about high accommodation costs, the government was contemplating a $200 per night price cap for Guyanese and members of the diaspora. Eden by Best Western was the first hotel to follow suit after an engagement session with stakeholders last week to place a cap for locals, and Royal International Hotel has now joined the suit. Quote unquote, "This is a win for accessibility and a win for tourism in Guyana," Minister Rodriguez said via social media. Minister Rodriguez, in her planning for the sector, has committed to a calendar of events starting in 2026, with major of the sector's activities scheduled each quarter must be packed into 7 or 10-day experiences to attract both local and international visitors. Mitra Ramkumar, President of Tourism and Hospitality Association of Guyana (THAG, did indicate to the media that this idea has long been under consideration within the industry, with the primary goal being to ensure higher occupancy rates in hotels. With increased government-led promotions aimed at attracting more visitors, the industry anticipates a steadier flow of guests, which can lead to reduced costs through higher volumes. Festivals such as Diwali, Christmas, and Independence celebrations will be marketed abroad with support from airlines and embassies to reach the diaspora. Addressing a gathering recently at the Artichon Conference Center, the minister said growing Guyanese tourism brand as a strong economic driver requires a shift from operating in silos to building stronger partnerships across the industry. Royal International Hotel at Track JW Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, made its announcement in a social media post that they proudly support the Minister of Tourism's initiative to boost travel to Guyana. Aiden by Best Western was the first to confirm a special cap rate of US 200 plus VAT per night for Guyanese, beginning October 1, following Minister Rodriguez's remarks focused on bringing down accommodation costs and significantly increasing visitor arrival to enjoy the benefit. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for your regional news.
Good evening and welcome to Thursday's edition of the Regional News. I am Antonio Day. We begin with news in Barbados. Prime Minister Mayor Motley says that Barbados will open their doors with order and with pride as Barbados joins St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Belize and Dominica in fully implementing free movement of their nationals among themselves. From Wednesday, the countries are implementing one of the major aspects of the CARICOM single market and economy, which allows for free movement of goods, skills, labor, and services across the region. The Ghana-based CARICOM Secretariat said that extensive preparations have been undertaken to ensure a smooth and secure rollout of the full free movement among the four countries, adding that the other member states that participate in the CSME and have not signed on to a full free movement will continue to facilitate movement of their nationals on the existing regime for skilled workers, for the provision of services, and the operation of businesses. In a nationwide radio and television broadcast on Tuesday night, Motley acknowledged that Barbados is on the cusp of change that will touch the lives across the Caribbean region and strengthen the nation. I know some of you feel excited. I also know that some of you do feel anxious. You have questions. You want to know exactly what will happen and how it will affect your family, your job, your children's future. Added that all of your questions and feelings are valid. Turning attention to news in Jamaica. Effective immediately, Jamaicans applying for visa, student, or work visas to the United States must now pay an additional $250 visa surcharge, bringing the total cost of a standard tourist visa to $435 per person. The surcharge outlined in the recently signed U.S. immigration legislation titled the One Big Beautiful Bill significantly increases the financial burden on Jamaican travelers. Previously, the standard fee for one tourist or business visa was $185 with a new surcharge. A Jamaican family of 4 traveling to the U.S. will now pay an additional $1,000 visa fees alone. Immigration analysts and advocacy groups warned that the measure could discourage Caribbean travel to the United States, strain family budgets, and negatively affect industries such as tourism, retail, and air travel. The U.S. federal government shutdown that began on Wednesday will halt some payments to farmers and delay access to federal farm loans, the latest blow for producers already facing low crop prices, record high debts, and trade war at the height of fall harvest. The shutdown began at midnight on Wednesday after Republican and Democratic lawmakers could not agree on a plan to fund federal government operations. It will last until one party gets enough votes for its funding plan. During shutdowns, significant numbers of federal employees are furloughed and many operations temporarily stop. Thank you for watching. I am Antonio Day. Goodbye for now. Be safe.
Let's join Delvin Neblett for HGP's Sports Pulse.
Good evening, Guyana. I'm Delwyn Neblet with your HGP TV Sports Pulse for today, Thursday, October 2nd, 2025. Guyana Squash Association establishes Hall of Fame. The Guyana Squash Association recently celebrated its 60th anniversary of squash with a historic gala event to induct 6 legends of the sport into the newly established Squash Hall of Fame. The event was part of a 3-day weekend bringing together multiple generations of athletes, many of whom returned from abroad to pay tribute. Through a newly established committee called the Guyana Squash Archival Project, GSAP, the outstanding players who contributed immensely to squash's legacy were honored and inducted into the class of 2025 Squash Hall of Fame. These 6 prominent figures now occupy a permanent space on the wall at the National Racquet Center to serve as a reminder of the dedication and commitment that was made to get Guyana squash to where it is, and also to serve as an inspiration to the next generation tasked with taking the sport to another level. The 6 inductees into the Hall of Fame are Ron Hughes, Mike Watkinson, Madhu Wellinkar, Josephine Whitehead, Carl Ince, and Nicolette Fernandes. Dennis Dias was also awarded with the Lifetime Achievement Award for his contributions to squash for over 50 years. Moving into karate, the Guyana Karate Federation's National Karate Tournament 2025 concluded on Sunday at the YMCA on Thomas Lands. Approximately 120 participants competed in 9 categories, namely the Kata, Kumate, Team Kata, Team Kumate, Novice Division, Intermediate Division, Senior Division, Youth Division, and Masters Division. Standing out in their respective categories were Alvita Forrester for Kata and Kumite in the 5 to 6 years white to orange belt category, Aaron Hopkinson for Kumate in the 9 to 14 years white to orange belt category, Nyla Lewis for Kata in the 9 to 14 years white to orange belt category, Keith Beaton for the senior men's Kumate category, and Amber Rutherford for the women's category. Moving into football, action resumed in Division 1 of the Guyana Football Federation's Women's League 2025 with 2 fixtures at the National Training Center in Providence on Wednesday. The first match was a commanding 6-0 victory for the Guyana Police Force FC over the Fruta Conquerors as Shannick Thornhill scored a brilliant double, and Adams, Lakeisha Patterson, Tiandi Smith, and Amanda McKenzie each scored 1 goal in a winning effort. In the second match, GDF showed their class to produce a dominant 16-0 victory over the Western Tigers. Zorunk Ali scored a masterful 4 goals as Glendy Lewis secured herself a remarkable hat-trick. Naomi Williams scored once as Sandra Johnson, Jeladi Trim, Abiosi Haywood, and Serena Johnson each scored doubles in the lopsided victory. More in football, action also resumed in the Georgetown Association Senior Men's League 2025 with 2 fixtures at the Police Sports Club ground Ivleri on Wednesday. The first match was a keenly contested 2-0 victory for Rhythm Squad over the Northern Rangers as Sion Grant and Eon Mars each scored clutch goals to secure victory. The second match was a high-scoring affair as Beacon FC defeated Black Pearl 6-3 on the back of goals from Jamal Bentic, Anthony Abrams, and Shaveen Bentic. Finally, in cricket, the Windies stumbled on day 1 of the first test in Ahmedabad. After winning the toss and batting first, the West Indies were bowled out for just 167 in 44.1 overs on day 1 of the first of 2 test matches against India being played at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. Justin Greaves top scored with 32 as the captain Shea Hope scored 26 and Roston Chase added 24. Mohammad Siraj led the Indian charges with 4 for 40 as Jasprit Bumrah picked up 3 for 42 and Kuldeep Yadav 2 for 25. At the close of play on day 1, India would reach 121 for 2, losing the wickets of Yashasvi Jaiswal to Jaden Seals for 36 and Sai Sudarsan to Roston Chase for just 7. India head into day 2 trailing the West Indies by an additional 41 runs as KL Rahul is unbeaten on 53 and the captain Shubman Gill unbeaten on 18. That's it for this edition of the HGP TV Sports Pulse. I'm Delwyn Neblet reminding you to stay in the game.
Norton lives to fight another day as PNCR leader. 2 new CEC members identified. Government cannot put all its eggs into one basket, says President Ali. Cash grant before Christmas. VP JAGDEO says the president is a man of his word. And the Court of Appeal dismissed Forward Guyana Movement's challenge against GECOM ballot exclusion. And in sports, West Indies tumble on day 1 of first test against India. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Travis Chase. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.